Cali to Chi-Town Express on a flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
What is going on, Chicago Bears fans? I don't know why my screen's acting up, but we have some breaking news out of Chicago. The Chicago Bears have extended general manager Ryan Poles to a 5-year extension, tying him with Ben Johnson for the next 5 years. There is a whole lot of Bears fans that are really upset about this because, you know, once again, just the sources came from Ian Rappaport. Says the Bears are signing GM Ryan Poles to a contract extension, keeping him in Chicago 4 years to come. In a big offseason with a new coaching staff, Poles isn't going anywhere. Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles are now aligned. And this is something that the Chicago Bears were wanting to do for a while, right? Once again, there's a lot of Bears fans out there that are not happy about this. Ryan Poles was hired back in 2022 to oversee this rebuild, and he has gone 15-36 during that time. But when you look at how he reconstructed the roster, he did accomplish that, right? You look at, you know, him getting rid of a lot of expiring big contracts, right? Players that were aging, cleared the cap space, obviously made that big time trade with the Carolina Panthers that kind of really altered the trajectory of this organization. Got Caleb Williams, got Ben Johnson, finally looked like he overhauled the offensive line this offseason. I think this is the right move for the Chicago Bears to align Ben Johnson, the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, and Ryan Poles. And that was one of the big things for Ben Johnson before he took the Chicago Bears head coaching job, that he wanted to see alignment with the organization. He wanted to be aligned with the general manager, and that's exactly what they did. So I wanted to come on here really quick and break this news for you guys. This is obviously some big offseason news for the Chicago Bears right before the start of training camp. There's a lot of Bears fans out there saying that they did no longer wanted Ryan Poles as a general manager. And you know, they have the arguments. He has gone 15-36, but you have to understand that he did withstand a rebuild. This is now going to be a big year, right, for Ryan Poles. You have now got extended. That means Chicago Bears are fully entrusting in you. They like what they've seen on paper. Now we need to see the work that you've done in the offseason. We need to see that translate to the regular season now. So it's one of those things that, yes, the record is not pretty, 15-36, but when you look at what he's actually done for the Chicago Bears roster, I think this is a extension that was, you know, in the making all along. And now we have to see if it translates. All the work that he has done in the offseason, we have to see if it translates to the regular season. I see a couple of people already in the chat. Someone said, I think that's the right move unless the next few years are complete trash. Yes, I agree. Once again, I know people will bring up the 15-36 record, and it's not a good record, but you have to remember that he had to build from the bottom up. And yes, it has taken a long time, a lot of frustrating seasons. But once again, when you're building from the bottom up and you're trying to build a team the right way, sometimes it takes a long time. But now with everything in place, once again, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, the offensive line and defensive lines looking massively improved going into the new season. The Chicago Bears organization are hoping that Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson for the next 5+ years can be the duo to finally get it done here in Chicago. David in the chat says, we better make the playoffs. Yeah, and that's another expectation for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, is that they do need to make the playoffs, right? That's going to be a big thing going into this year. The Chicago Bears have a very daunting schedule. Once again, Ryan Poles on paper has done everything necessary to put his players in a situation to succeed. Once again, this is going to be a huge year for Caleb Williams. You got Ben Johnson in the fold, overhauling the offensive line. And you know, when you think about on paper what Ryan Poles has been able to accomplish over the last couple of years, record aside, once again, I'm not going to disregard the 15-36 record during his time. But once again, when you're building from the bottom up, trying to build the organization the right way for not short-term success, but long-term success, sometimes it can take a long time to really build an organization. But once again, Bears fans, if you are not aware of the news, breaking news out of Chicago is that the Bears, Ryan Poles, agreed to a massive 5-year extension, keeping him and Ben Johnson in Chicago for the foreseeable future. We have Marcel in the chat. Thank you so much for your comment. Said I would have waited to see how this year played out, and that's definitely a great opinion, Marcel, and something that the Chicago Bears definitely could have considered. I think they're just trying to, make sure they're aligned. Once again, that was one of the big things for Ben Johnson, is that he wanted to be aligned with the general manager of the Chicago Bears. Someone said also, absolutely, everything looks good on paper, but can coaching translate that into results? And that's going to be the big thing. Everything is set up on paper. Now it's up to Ben Johnson and the players to get it done on the football field. Once again, they have a very tough schedule. You're playing teams like the Commanders, the Eagles, the Cowboys. You have your own division, the Lions, Packers, and Vikings. It's going to be a very daunting schedule, but at the same time, it's going to be a true test to see where the Chicago Bears roster stacks up. Obviously, Ryan Poles is very confident in what he has built, and I think he has made all the right moves on paper once again. The record's definitely not pretty, but hopefully that can turn around starting this season for the Chicago Bears. So it's definitely a risky move, I would say, but at the same time, when I look at the record, the 15-36 record for Ryan Poles during his couple years being the general manager of the Chicago Bears for the last couple of years, I tried my best not to put it all on him because I know that he was dealt with a very crappy situation coming in, right? Obviously, the Matt Eberflus situation, he came into, a quarterback that he didn't really want in Justin Fields, just trying to flip the roster, trying to get rid of these large contracts of aging players. And so it was a long process. A rebuild is not supposed to, be a short process. It's a very long process. I mean, I think the Chicago Bears organization is very pleased with what Ryan Poles was able to accomplish on paper. Now, the big question is, can those moves and transactions on paper that you made during the last couple of seasons translate to the football field? That's going to be the big question. So yes, there is some risk here giving Ryan Poles a 5-year extension, but once again, it makes all the sense in the world because once again, Ben Johnson did want to be aligned with general manager Ryan Poles. Someone said, I am once again drinking the Kool-Aid, and that is very easy to do as a Bears fan, right? And I've been trying my best to tamper my expectations until we see the result on the football field. But they every single year they're able to draw us back in. So I'm really hoping this is the year that they, it translates to on the football field. Because once again, Ryan Poles has made every big time move possible to get Caleb Williams where they want to go, right? Having that big year 2 jump. And obviously that's going to be the big emphasis on the season, getting that big year 2 jump from Caleb Williams. You rehauled offensive line. You get Ben Johnson in the fold, right? You give him some more weapons like Colson Leveland and Luther Burden. You have Rome Odunze coming back for year 2. So it's going to be one of those things that I think this is a risky move by the Chicago Bears, but at the same time, Ryan Poles was on the forefront of making all these big moves. He was on the forefront of bringing Ben Johnson here to Chicago. Obviously, he was one of the main reasons why Ben Johnson wanted to come to Chicago, right? Because he believes in Ryan Poles. He's the big reason why they were able to accomplish that big-time trade with the Carolina Panthers that landed our hopefully franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams, right? And then you think of the other hand, there's been some questionable moves by Ryan Poles as well, with Chase Claypool, right? A couple other moves that were questionable, right? He took a really long time to really build this offensive line the right way. So, but at the same time, that he had a lot of swings, he had a lot of misses, but he also has had a lot of hits as well. And I feel like Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore are some of his many hits as well. So there's pros and cons to Ryan Poles, but I feel like he has a lot of good as well. Someone says, gotta say, this year's vintage tastes better. Absolutely. Gavin, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Gavin also says, in Poles we trust. Yeah, that's definitely the right mindset. Someone said, we need some stability and moves quickly after making mistakes. Yeah, and that's the big thing. The Chicago Bears have never had any continuity or stability with a general manager and head coach. Usually when a general manager in Chicago Bears history starts off 15-36, that general manager is gone. But no, for the first time ever, the Chicago Bears organization has finally realized, hey, you know what? Ryan Poles was dealt with a tough task to rebuild this roster, and we asked him to rebuild this roster the right way. They understood that this rebuild would take more than 3+ years, right? So now what? We're in year 4 or what, 5 or something like that in the rebuild. And it looks like the Chicago Bears are finally starting to turn a corner. And that's because Ryan Poles had to build it the right way. So once again, though those moves that he has made over the last couple of years now officially has to translate on Sundays, on Mondays, on Thursdays, right? So he has done everything right, in my personal opinion, as the general manager of the Chicago Bears, building the thing the right way. Let's just hope it translates. So let me know how you're feeling about the move down below in the comment section. Once again, I just wanted to come on here really quick, just to let you guys know. Once again, Ian Rappaport was one of the first ones to report it. Once again, the sources that the Bears are signing general manager Ryan Poles to a contract extension, keeping him in Chicago 4 years to come in a big offseason with a new coaching staff. Poles isn't going anywhere. Once again, now Ben Johnson and Poles are now aligned for the foreseeable future in Chicago. So Bears fans, once again, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. I love and appreciate all you guys. But once again, Ryan Poles signs a massive 5-year extension to remain the Chicago Bears general manager for the foreseeable future. I'll catch you guys next time right here on Keek on the Mic. As always, love you guys and bear down.